Hello, my name is Richard Craik. I am the UCLan Disabled Students Rep, and it is a lovely summer's day, and I wanted to make this ending speech to you. As of the 1st of July this year, I will no longer be the Disabled Students Representative, and my position will be taken over by Amy Turner, who has worked very closely with me as President of the Disabled Student Society, who won a very well ordered campaign and will do great things in my stead, has my full support, and I look forward to working with her in the next academic year. The next thing I want to see is that I would like to thank each and every one of our society members in the Disabled Student Society. Look, I've got the t-shirt, I don't know if you can see that properly, and just to thank you all for being strong and very capable and supporting members of the society. Yes, we haven't been as active as we'd hoped this year, but the society events we have had have been of great success. We've raised money for the Dyspraxia Foundation, raising awareness of dyspraxia around campus. We've held the event for What is Autism, to raise awareness of autism among staff and students alike, in which we raised money for the National Autistic Society. We also ran an event for Mind for Mental Health Charity, a sponsored bike ride in which those of us who were able and willing managed to cycle a fair distance of about 40 miles in aid of the charity. And we also organised with a local charity in Preston to help raise money for guide dogs for individuals who had visual impairments within the wider Preston and Lancashire community. So for everyone who helped with all of these great events and have helped shape people's lives, not just within the university but within the wider community of the county and the country, I thank you very, very much. Your help has been most appreciated. And it's because of that we were shortlisted for the UCLan Students' Union Society Awards, which is a huge achievement, and although we weren't officially nominated and didn't win anything, it's a huge honour to have been shortlisted, which is a huge achievement. The next thing I want to state is that we've got loads of new events coming up, hopefully within the next year. I must stress that I won't be an active committee member for the Disabled Student Society for the next academic year, but what I am doing is potentially remaining a member. I haven't made that decision yet, but all I know is that the society will be taken over by new leaders and will be potentially going in a new direction, and I'll be happy to help them if they so wish for that support. Which brings me on to our biggest praise, our biggest award, our biggest achievement, and that is winning the we've got a car coming past, and that was winning the National Union of Students Disabled Students Campaign of the Year. So that's not just our UCLan Students' Union, that's a national award against every other students' union in the country. And we won. Not just me, but you. Every member of our society won the national award for our tireless efforts to raise funds for charities and to campaign for greater awareness of conditions across campus, for which I'm forever grateful for everyone who helped us in that endeavour, and it is a huge honour to have been recognised on a national level. It's fantastic. Now, the next thing I want to leave you with is a item that I've been campaigning for and fighting for a couple of months now, and as there's been very little traction on the movement, I felt it best for me to disclose to you what has been going on, as I feel it's in that good interest for you to know what's happened. In January of 2017, the Telegraph newspaper posted an article in which they claimed that they sent out freedom information requests to universities all across the country, inquiring how much they spend per pupil per head on mental health provision. To no one's surprise, institutions like Oxford came out on top. What was unexpected was that the University of Central Lancashire came out the bottom at spending less than £2.50 per student per head on mental health provision. So from this, I notified the Student Affairs Committee, or the SAC, of this news piece, and I was interviewed by some media students, not the SU media, but independent media students, about the findings. From this, a member of UCLan staff commented on the LinkedIn social network and stated that the Telegraph's freedom information request wasn't about mental health funding, but about disability funding. So, as obviously disabled students rep officer, that was of great concern to me, because from what I gathered from that explanation, it meant that UCLan was potentially the least investing university in the country for students with disabilities. So I chased that up further and passed that data on as well to the SAC, or the Student Affairs Committee. The Student Affairs Committee are our paid, elect members who run our students' union by students for students, and are paid a salary to do that full time. So from there, a student journalist said, let's get this printed in the students' media newspaper, but a few days before publication they left the paper under unknown circumstances and the story was dropped. So I worked to get it released for the next edition, the last edition of the year, but unfortunately was not published due to lack of sources and other such details. I argued that, as the Telegraph, a written statement from the Director of Student Services and one other piece of data was sufficient, but they don't think so. The other piece of data, I should stress, I submitted my own freedom information request and it came back with a different set of figures. So we have the Telegraph with one set of figures, we have the staff member stating what the figures actually meant, and then we've got my freedom information request showing a different set of figures entirely. So from this, I stressed to the SAC that this needed to be investigated properly. I did so minuted in the Welfare and Liberation Forum as the Disabled Students Rep, and from this we were assured that things would be going on, and I'm just a bit lost. Haven't heard anything, and that's why I'm doing this disclosure, just so that you know what the situation is. So once the student media said we weren't going to publish it because they didn't have time to source and do all this other stuff, I then decided to send all these supporting documents to the Vice Chancellor of UCLan and copy in the SAC's president to that email correspondence, and Lord knows what's going on there. So it's no longer my battle. Given the to and fro's and the bitter fighting I've had to even get this far, I feel beaten as a volunteer, and an unpaid elect volunteer. I feel I've done all I can, which is a sad thing to admit, but nearly every step of the way it's felt like there have been barriers and obstacles by both the university and the students' union, which is not acceptable, as the union is there to hold the university to account for us for paying students. But I don't want this to be an overall negative last report. I want to say to those who have criticised our track record, we've raised loads of money for charity independent of the union, we've won a national award, Our members are fantastic, very engaging, and you are all absolutely fantastic. And I couldn't have asked for a better year as role as the Disabled Students Rep Officer, and I look forward to my new role as of the 1st of July as the Business School President. And from then, Amy Turner will be your new Disabled Students Rep. She will do an amazing job and is by far one of the best qualified people for the job out there. So, everything aside, regardless of what you may think of me personally, just know everything that I have done has always been in the interest of the students that I represent as Disabled Students Rep.